welcome to the show. Now, is it just me, or does this colder weather sort of signify the start of sports season? Well, I'm more of a bandwagoneer when it comes to sports in general. I take my game day eats very seriously. So if you're hosting a game day party, have I got a recipe for you that's gonna score you big points and be a total touchdown? Did I nail it? All right, so I am making my roasted veg nachos with guacamole. But when I say nachos, I don't mean chips. I mean, we're gonna roast up some veg, cover them in all those nacho toppings. And honestly, it's like you can eat nachos for dinner and not feel bad about it. So win-win in my books. All right, to get started, we gotta get to work on these veg. So I've got some sweet potato, a little bit of cauliflower here, and an onion. Basically, you want 2 sweet potatoes, about half of a head of cauliflower, because they're kind of giant right now, and then 1 big red onion. So I'm gonna cut this sweet potato into some big kind of hunks. I don't want wedges, because I don't want this to feel like potato wedges. I want it to just be kind of like, you know, whatever way you want to cut it, that's the way you're going to cut it that day. Which is kind of my type of cooking. I like being like, giving you a suggestion, and then you take it wherever you want to take it. So I'm just going to add those on into a bowl. And again, you want those nice big hunks. The flat side of any sort of potato is what's gonna get golden brown and caramelized. So as many flat sides as you can do, that's gonna be even more delicious. So I've just added those into a foot bowl. Nailed it, visual joke. All right, and now I'm just gonna chunk up that cauliflower as well, just into big florets. And when I was a kid, I did not like cauliflower. It kind of freaked me out. It kind of looks like an alien plant, but when you roast it up, it gets really nice and sweet and tender and delicious. So roasting that, you're gonna get the most delicious flavor, and there's a bunch of nooks and crannies for a bunch of deliciousness to get in there. Now, I've got my onion, and I'm gonna cut that into some wedges, just some classic big chunker wedges. I'm using a red onion, but if you wanted, you could totally use a yellow onion. If you wanted to be fancy, you could throw some shallots in here, but these are nachos, not whatever French nachos would be. Now onto there, I'm gonna add on a little bit of oil. So I'm just gonna use some olive oil here, just about, honestly, I'm gonna say 3 tablespoons, because this is a good amount of vegetables. You want that oil on there, because vegetables obviously don't really have fat, and that fat brings flavor. It also allows for heat to really kind of conduct onto those veg and give you that golden brown color that you're looking for. So that is looking beautiful. And if I were doing something like roast pork, I could throw that in the oven right now and be totally dreamy, but I'm gonna make a really nice kind of sort of nacho spice blend to go on here. So in my little bowl, I'm gonna combine a bunch of spices. If you have a nacho spice at home, feel free to use it. If you got one of those little packs of taco seasoning, you could use that too. But for me, I like making it myself because I have all these hanging out in my pantry. So the first thing I need is a little bit of chili powder. So 2 teaspoons of that is gonna bring like smokiness and really good flavor. A little bit of heat, but not too much. A teaspoon of cumin is gonna give kind of smoky lemoniness, which I absolutely love. And honestly, this spice blend is something that I add to a lot of vegetarian dishes because it gives it kind of a meaty flavor. Now, a little bit of garlic powder, because I love garlic. 1 teaspoon of that. And garlic powder to me, doesn't it kind of just taste like roasted garlic, but all you did was open a jar? That's the type of sport that I'm good at. Excellent. Now also a teaspoon of smoked paprika, again for a little bit of smokiness. I love smoked paprika. I feel like people are over it now, but I'm not. I still love it so much. Half a teaspoon of dry oregano, again, gives you a little bit of herbiness. And then just half a teaspoon of onion powder. Onion powder is really strong. I love it, but if you put too much in, it doesn't taste great. So half a teaspoon is perfect. Give that a little bit of a mix up. And I'm just gonna add all of this seasoning, even though it's a lot of seasoning, onto those veg. That's gonna season those up and give it nice toasty nacho flavor. Add in a little bit of salt, because all good veg need a bit of salt. And then I'm gonna attempt another sport I'm good at. Actually, this is going better than I thought, but don't jinx it. Okay, ooh, no, I blew it. I Icarused, I went too far. All right, now I'm just gonna transfer that onto a sheet pan. Since I've got that oil already on those veg, I don't need to oil up that pan. Just toss them out. And I'm gonna use a little bit of a spatula just to get all of that flavored oil onto those veg. Spread that out into an even-ish layer, because again, for golden brown color, you want those veg touching that pan. That oil's gonna conduct the heat onto there, you're gonna get golden brown color. Now this little baby needs to go into my 425-degree oven for about 25 minutes, and that's just gonna par roast those veg and get them started. If you wanted to, you could fully roast them here. I'd probably add another 15 minutes or so onto that time. But for me, when I'm eating nachos, I like a little bit of protein. Again, it makes it more of a dinner. So I've got these nacho baked veg here. I know, right? Not too shabby, really smells so good. But onto there for a little bit of protein, I've got a can of drained and rinsed black beans. Now I'm gonna add those right onto that pan. And then these babies are gonna go back into the oven. At this point, I would throw them back into the oven for about 15 minutes. Those beans are gonna kind of like crisp up and pop, almost like popcorn kind of. They get fluffy and dreamy and creamy and wonderful. But for the sake of time, I'm also gonna put some cheese on. So, I know, right? About 2 cups of grated cheese. You can use like Monterey Jack or just that nacho cheese blend, which again, I'm not mad if you made like grilled cheese out of nacho cheese blend cheese, not a bad thing. Now this is gonna go back into the oven. Again, I would roast those beans for about 15 more minutes. Pop those babies in. That needs to melt. That cheese is gonna be beautiful. Those beans are gonna burst. The veg are gonna be tender. I am making my roasted veg nachos, perfect for any game day. I mean, look at these babies. We've got that beautiful cooked down cauliflower. See how like gnarly it gets over here? It's golden brown, it's crispy. Those little sweet potatoes look like a dream. The beans have kind of burst open, so they're kind of fluffy and meaty at the same time. And if you served this on your table, everyone would be like, excellent, nachos for dinner. But in my books, nachos are all about the toppings. So, right? You can't have a nacho without like a mountain of toppings on top. So the first thing I'm gonna add is a little bit of sour cream or Greek yogurt. I like to go what I call like Jackson Pollock on these babies, just kind of like slap it on down. We're getting a little bit too messy. Mary's getting out of control. A little bit of that is beautiful. Some salsa would be great for a little bit of that red color just dotted over top. Now, this is where you get, again, extra creative. Whatever nacho toppings you like, even if you love like a little bit of pulled chicken or something, that would be beautiful on here. You could do some ground beef that you've cooked up. Maybe you've got it left over from a taco night or something. But then you just top it with any sort of veg. I've got some diced avocado, which, I mean, who doesn't love some avocado? Scatter that on. Ooh, that's a big amount of avocado. This is where you say, oh, did we have some of those sports beers before we made them? All right, that's looking good. A little bit of some chopped cilantro. I'm a cilantro girl. I know not everybody is, but to me, that's a dream. Some green onions. One thing that I also absolutely love on my nachos is some pickled jalapenos. It's so good. You can go with fresh if you want to, but pickled jalapenos, they kind of like pull back on the spice and you get a little bit of sweetness, a little bit of salty, and that nice vinegary flavor. So chuck those all over top. Again, when you start, it's gonna look like a disaster like mine did, like Mount Avocado over here. But as you keep adding, there's no such thing as too much on a nacho, in my opinion. Now, this is something that I also love. Yes, we have that layer of cheese, fantastic, but what about more cheese, I hear you saying? So I'm gonna add on a little bit of feta, because I love that salty, kind of creamy feta cheese all over top of these nachos. You could also use queso fresco if you want to, really nice and salty and sharp, super good. Now, obviously a little bit of lime wedge all over. And to me, this looks like a feast that anybody would be pumped to eat. Like a total dream. I mean, put that on your dinner table and everyone's gonna be super amped about it. They're gonna, again, be touchdown, three-pointer, offside. Yeah. That's the bad one, right? Okay, cool, nailed it. Now, I'm also gonna make a little bit of guacamole to go with this, because when you come to my house, guacamole's not extra, it's a given. So I've got 2 avocados in this bowl here, and I like a little bit of kick to mine. So I'm gonna add on about half of a jalapeno. I'm gonna go with a fresh jalapeno, but if you wanted to, you could use those pickled jalapenos. Now, if you don't love spice, feel free to remove those ribs and seeds. Personally, I like them. I like that little bit of extra heat in there. So just dice that up to your heart's content, however big or small you like them. And half a jalapeno honestly isn't too bad. My friend Chris was just complaining he cannot find a spicy jalapeno anywhere. Also, Chris is the man holding this camera right now. He's distraught. He really wants a spicy jalapeno, so if you know, you let us know. All right, onto there, I'm also gonna add about a clove of garlic, just minced right on over. I like really fine garlic in my guac, because all that punchy garlic flavor gets through all and every single bite. So just add that on in. And then, again, I'm a cilantro girl, so I'm adding a good few tablespoons of cilantro. So are we pro cilantro or anti-cilantro here today? Nice. I am a big fan. If you don't like it, feel free to leave it out. Sometimes I even replace it with a little, this sounds strange, but Thai basil to me is a little bit of a good substitute. It's got a little bit of that funk, really nice and tasty. Now, obviously I need some lime juice, so I'm gonna add in the juice of 1 lime. And I like to give it a little bit of a roll on my table just before doing it, because what that does is it breaks up all those little membranes on the inside and makes it easier to juice. You can also chuck it in the microwave, but I don't have a microwave at home, so this is my trick. Give it a bit of a squeeze. Hopefully it's nice and juicy, looking good. Bit of salt on there too. And then I like a chunky guacamole. So just grab a fork, mash it up until your heart's content. This is gonna take longer than I thought. If you wanted to do it quicker, you could always use a potato masher. That would be a total dream. I'm gonna keep mashing this guacamole during the break, but right now I wanna eat one of these nachos, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm gonna come over here and give it a taster-root, which I'm gonna go for the cauliflower and shirk child Mary Berg's least favorite food, but it's absolutely delicious now. Okay. Oh my goodness. That was so good. It's sweet, it's golden brown. That is a total showstopper. It's gonna be a game-winning goal every time. Hey, Mary here. What did you think? Drop your comments below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more of the good stuff.